The second genre of literature is prose. What is prose? A prose is the form of literature concerned with storytelling. In other words, every kind of prose tells a story. There are two broad classifications of prose. They are 1. Fiction and 2. Non-fiction. Fiction. Fiction is the form of prose which deals with imaginary or untrue stories. The author of a novel in a prose fiction do not base the story on any historical events. His work is just a product of imagination drawn from abstract events and situations. He gives any name to his character and give any name to the place where an event in the story takes place. Under fiction, we have the following. Novel. A novel often involves multiple major characters, subplots, conflicts, point of view, and twists. Due to its considerable length, a novel is meant to be read over a period of days, and it must be over 40,000 words. Novella and novelette. A novella is longer than a novelette and is sometimes called a long short story or a short novel. A novella can involve multiple subplots, twists, and characters, and is about 17,500 to 40,000 words. Why a novelette is also a narrative fictional prose. It is longer than a short story, but shorter than a novella. The word count is usually between 7,500 to 17,500 words. Short story. The most important difference between a short story, novelette, novella, and a novel is the word count. An average short story usually has at least 3,500 words and no more than 7,500. A short story is one of the most common forms of writing. It is often used to describe a single event, a single episode, or a tale of one particular character. Non-fiction. This is the form of prose which contains a true story and is based on facts or what really happened. The characters are real human beings, and the places where the events take place are places that exist in the world. Now, this include biography. Biography refers to the story or life history of a person which is written by another person. The writer might have associated with a person whose biography he writes. Autobiography. Autobiography is a form of non-fictional prose, a story written by a person about himself. In this type of prose, one gives an account of one's experiences in life. Memoir. Memoirs are personal accounts of specific memories or stories from one's life. However, it is not a record of one's entire existence. Let's have a recap. Recall, we did say that a prose is a form of literature concerned with storytelling. Then we said that prose is divided into two, fiction and non-fiction. In fiction, we said it's a work that deals with imaginary or untrue stories. Under this fiction, we have novels, novella, novelette, and short story. Can you recall the difference or differences between all of these types of fiction? A novel usually contains over 40,000 words. A novella is sometimes called a long short story that contains about 17,500 to 40,000 words. A novelette is a short story, but it's longer than a short story. It usually contains between 7,500 to 17,500 words, while a short story contains about 3,500 to 7,500 words. So the differences in all of these type of fiction is in their word count. Then the next type we discussed was the non-fiction. The non-fiction is a form of prose which contains a true story. It's based on facts and what really happened. And the different types of non-fiction we'll have include the biography. The biography is a story or life history of a person written by another person. And then we'll have the autobiography. The autobiography is the story of the person written by the person himself. And then we'll have the memoir. The memoir is the personal account of specific memories or stories from one's life, though it is not the entire existence of the individual.